Welcome back to Get to Know, where you get to know the company, the business, and the people behind the business. Today, we have a very, very special guest on our show. Not only is she a VIP club member, but she's also a Sharon Rose Master of Canada. Let me introduce you to our Sharon Rose Master, Essie Lee.
Hello everyone.
So, Master Essie, how did you meet Atomy?
Oh, actually, I ran into these products few years ago at our local dry cleaners. And there was a box of skincare sitting on a counter. And I remember asking the lady, a Korean owner, "Oh, hi, Mrs. What is that?" And she didn't tell me much. She said, "Oh, my friend's sister is selling it, but it's cosmetics." And end of conversation. But I remember the logo. That was my very first encounter with anything Atomy. And actually, not too long after, a family gave me some products for gift, and it was a toothpaste and toothbrush. But I was already using electronic toothbrush at home, so I packed them aside. I'd never seen the logo before. I didn't recognize them. And my family all the way from Berlin, Germany, and Korea, they all came over at once, and they didn't bring any of their toothbrushes. So I remember sharing with them. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, and very next day, my dad and my sister both came up and said, "Hey, what is this?" And I remember telling him, "I'm not sure." But that's the very first time I looked at the back of the toothbrush and I said, "Hey, this is Korean. So when you go back to Korea, look it up." Another conversation done. And actually a few years later, I actually met a family friend who started the Atomy business, and I went to buy some products to support her. And she sat me down, and we've known her for a long time. I trust her and I respect her. And when she said she started the business, I merely went there to support her. But when she sat down and she showed me the products, and she showed me that actually, this is a very good business idea, my ears started to kind of open up. But she just joined 2 weeks ago. She gave me the website, and I went home. I did a lot of research that night, and I couldn't fall asleep. And I think that day is probably, I was able to link these two dots. Oh, that box from the dry cleaners, and those toothbrushes from that day when everybody wanted to know where I got them. If not those two incidents, I would have maybe kind of let it pass. But I think that day I was like, this has something. And for 3 days, I did a lot of research. That's how I started to get interested in Atomy altogether.
So it was like a combination of things and coincidence that happened. Was this like a very short time period, or was it like over several months and several years?
No, it was actually several years apart.
Oh, really?
So it didn't really hit me. Yeah, until somebody approached me, the family friend, and now she's my sponsor. When she explained to me, little that she knew exactly why this company would work for her, and why she decided to do the business. So I got really intrigued, and I remember asking her, I did a few days of research, and I said, "Hey, I want to get more information," not knowing that this has any component in multi-level or direct sale. I had no understanding of any of those, and I thought it was some type of wholesale products from Korea. So I remember asking her, "Is there some type of workshop?" And she invited me to one of those new introduction seminar.
Like a one-day seminar from the beginning?
It was actually a center program. And when she told me that, yes, we have one, you should come and check it out, I went. And in fact, it was a meeting set up just for me and my sponsor. Then she just became a Sharon Rose Master. And I remember sitting there for many hours. And she even had a party right after because she just became a Sharon Rose Master. I was at the center for 5 hours on the first day.
5 hours on the first day? And this was not even before you were interested in the business?
No, I had no intention to do any business of this type because I was trying to go back to real estate. I took some time off and I was trying to go back to real estate sales full time. So really dealing with Atomy products wasn't on my mind at all. But definitely when I went there, I saw something.
So do you remember which first product that you used personally and thought of yourself that this can be more than just a product, consumer brand, but it can be more and become a business?
Yes, definitely. I remember picking up evening care 4 set. So this is the one I went to support my family friend. And I said, maybe I'll pick up a foam cleanser and an eye cream. But when she showed me those products, a box of the whole skin cleansing set, which is evening care 4, it was at a price that I was expecting to get a foam cleanser. And she said, yeah, you can get the whole box. And the only reason I got myself an account is because she explained that, Essie, if you are a member, then you can get it at this price. But if you don't have an account, then you have to pay almost twice. I'm like, okay, it's nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah,
of course.
I remember asking her, hey, so there's nothing to lose. And after listening to her 15 more minutes, I said, it seems like nothing to lose and there's some to gain. So I'm going to join you. And then she gave me 6 set and the 4 set. That was my first 2 products. And that night, I thought, okay, I had a long day and I was going to treat myself for self spa at home experience. So I got this new product. So I opened them up excitedly and I put on this 4 set. I watched the YouTube how to use it properly. And 5 things out of 6 set, apart from the BB cream, I put everything on. And I clearly remember the very next day because my face is known to be extremely dry. It's just not my face, but my skin's very dry. So I keep moisturizing it even in summer. So my face is never moisturized when I wake up in the morning. But that morning, it was pretty early too, like 3 or 4 o'clock. I was just slightly awake and I felt my face and I was literally startled. I remember that sensation. I'm like, oh my God, something must have dripped from the roof because my face is
from
wet
the roof
and this
onto
doesn't
your
happen.
face.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so I remember quickly jolting out of bed. I'm like, what happened? Because if it's really dry in the fall or winter time in Canada, because we use forced air heating, it really dries up your skin. Sometimes even after putting on like higher end products, sometimes I resort to Vaseline because my face is so dry. And
Vaseline?
Yeah, my face is that dry.
Whoa.
And you know what happens to dry skin? It wrinkles. And I do not want wrinkles. So when I felt my face that morning, I quickly got up and I'm like, this is the products that I put on last night. I felt it right away. And that's why I couldn't take myself off a screen searching for the background, the ingredients, everything for 3 days. Because I couldn't believe, the price. I had no expectation. And if it's not that good, then I'm going to just put it somewhere else on my body. We grew up to learn that you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah, that's a very strong kind of educational concept. Yeah. So
when I felt the product kind of work for me, immediate response, I was scared. Maybe there's certain ingredients in there that's not supposed to be. So being trained and conditioned that way, I remember doing a lot of research, and that's when I called my sponsor, hey, I need to get more information. And that's when I was invited to the one-on-one business introduction seminar for 5 hours. And I knew, I don't know how, but this must be a good business tool. But I didn't jump into it right away, of course. I was gearing up to go back to real estate sales, which I did for almost 10 years before that. And there was an incident why I jumped to this. Can I tell you?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So I feel like my answers are
confession
really
time
long.
on Get to Know with Roastmaster Essie Lee. All right, no problem. Tell us your light bulb moment.
So I'm sharing casually, and I'm still doing my real estate sales job because that's what I know how to do. And so I became a member, and I started to share quite actively, but it wasn't a full-time or, it was more like a hobby, like a fun hobby thing to do. And my friends loved it. And maybe like a year after or so, I'm still driving with my clients, showing homes to this newly wedded couple and showing them these little cute houses in our area. And that morning, I got 4 text messages that morning, all in that couple of hours. And they're all asking for, hey, Essie, I know you're probably busy, but can I ask you if I can get another box of that skincare that you share with me? And another one was, yes, remember the toothbrush? Where can I get them? It was all in that context of, can I get more products? And then I'm driving around and I work so hard to get referrals for my real estate profession. Referrals are everything for real estate. And I'm like, wow, I wish my real estate work was like this. People keep coming back for more and more. I think that's when I thought, okay, I really need to look into it properly. And the very next few months after they offer this Korean tour, so I packed myself and went to Korea for 11 days to look into it. And I came back and I was like, wow, I'm glad I went. And first thing I did is I went and I parked my real estate sales license, which I had for almost 11 years. Wow. That's how I started. Yeah, I think that's the point where I went, okay, this is it. Yeah.
So you kind of gave up the real estate that you've been doing for such a long time, like 11 years. That's quite a big commitment, like a career. And you only needed just four text messages for you to decide, like, this is the end of my career, and I'm going to start a whole new business. Did you, I know you're from the real estate background, but did you have any professional, marketing or network marketing or cosmetics experience in the past?
I'm not trained in any cosmetic sales or even online marketing, but I know I'm a very good consumer. I've tried all highs and lows. So when I was working full in real estate, I'll probably, if I make a sale, first thing I do, I'll go treat myself to a very good cosmetics. I work for this. I'll just go and, an eye cream, almost, I would say, I don't know, an absolute eye cream is $57 in Canada. But sometimes I'll, just because I feel like I have to treat myself, sometimes I'll go and buy something that's 5 to 6 times more than what I use now. And then at the end of the night, I'll be using such a little amount of this eye cream because my fingers are shaking. This is $5 per drop I paid for. So I knew when I had to stay home, when I couldn't work so much, I've used what's mediocre too. So when I tried the 6-set, I am one of the probably most skeptical consumer that I'm not going to try to do something that I'm not really sure of. But I think your skin tells you the best if you have tried many products. And I could honestly attest to say that, this eye cream can't be, back then it's $20 for skincare 6. That's why I got really suspicious. How can this be? I've never put anything $10 BB cream. I've never even seen a BB cream that's $10. So in order for women, Lucas, you might not know, but amount of money that women spend on cosmetics will probably shock you. But that's something that, we look at it as an investment, right? So it was groundbreaking if I don't have to spend so much money, so I can spend it somewhere else, but I can get better results. I've never had my skin telling me that, it's liking it so much. So I had to go through.
And you have great skin now, so it's a very worthwhile investment. Even without the compensation plan, you've already won such a big amount.
Definitely.
So we know the background and how you started the business, but where did you learn? Majority of our consumer members wants to do business. They do see the product working, same as yourself, but we're stumped on how do we learn more about the business.
I think now that everything is online, yes, there's so much materials how to do the business, but I think it's still important that you get some type of guidance at the beginning. And I always say that regardless of any type, any sponsorship that you may have or you may not have, I think the best resources to learn how to do business, it always has come from the head office, the Mr. Parks, how he explains, and it's hard to sort of materialize that concept. But this head office, Mr. Parks says the way we do business is 8 steps to success. That's the manual. Yeah. And in the direction of auto sales master, I think that really saves a lot of consumers who's trying to do business. And because we're in Canada, you're in Australia, I think we understand the fact that we don't have success academies with Mr. Park speaking in it, for example. Now, everybody's fair. Everybody's doing the fair business. So where do I get the guidance? Definitely my sponsors helped me, directed me. But at the end of the day, all the answers are from the VODs, from Mr. Park and Dr. Lee. Even practical part of business, he talks a lot about it on VOD. So for us working in Canada, North America, I think VODs from our management and the leaders, of course, the Imperial Masters. It's like rain on our dry lands. Like our lands are so dry. We want more and more direction, more instruction and more guidance. But I think, yes, VODs from our head office and the top leaders, we swear by them. And I have to tell you that we cannot appreciate anymore when the leaders come to speak to us. They go on the flights hours to get to Canada and the US, and they do like 2-day seminar a day and then a business seminar. I have notebooks after notebooks. Like every word they will leave us with, it's again like raindrops on our dry land. So they all speak the same language. So at the end of the day, it's same messages. So anybody out there, you don't have a center, you don't have a sponsor, plug yourself into the company system and the direction from there. We don't need to deviate any far from what they tell you to do, and just follow the system. I think that's the key.
So thanks for that, Master Essie. So new consumers who are watching this video, hopefully you would have gotten a good information in regards to if you do not have a sponsor, you do not have partners, you do not have anyone there to help you, you're able to still succeed in the business by duplicating yourself and following the original principles of Atomy. That's how we found success, and that's how Master Essie's found success, and hopefully that's how you'll find success in your future as well. Right now, we're just going to go into a quick break, so make sure you tune back right after this break.
There's a lot of things that don't work or might not work, and I don't guarantee nothing in life. But Atomy really works, and it defines success in balanced life.
You, who are passionate anytime, anywhere, if you want unchanging beauty, if you dream of an unchanging reputation, it's right here. Atomy's skincare system, the Fame. Because beauty always begins with a solid foundation. Loved worldwide beyond Korea, the Fame. There's a reason to be loved by so many people. With 10 years worth of technology, with a new material to lead a new myth. Protect your skin with honor. Unalterable, everlasting beauty. Atomy Skincare System. The Fame.
Welcome back to Get to Know. We are still having a conversation with Sharon Master Essie Lee from Canada. What has been your biggest rejection while doing the business?
I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Came from my own family members. And I will say that it comes out of concern and love. But for me, that was the hardest thing. Because I don't know if some of you may know, my parents made a big investment in my education, and they feel that when I started the real estate profession, they were, a lot of Korean parents, they find that finding success in corporate environment, they really like that. So when I was already sort of doing the real estate, they're a little bit disappointed, maybe. But
hesitant.
Yeah, a little bit. So when I knew, when I told my mom and I said, okay, give me your information. I'm going to sign you up for something. She goes, what is that? Just give me your information. And then I told her, she didn't say much. She said, just be careful. And I was so worried that if I tell my dad, he's going to fly to Canada and try to deal with me. So actually, I didn't tell my dad for the first year. Right. After I became a Diamond Master, I told my dad. I still flew over to Canada that week from Korea. Yeah. And for 10 days, he didn't go out sightseeing. He didn't go golfing. For 10 days, we sat on a table and he probably gave me all the possible rejections that anybody can have in their first 3 years of Atomy life journey. He gave it on the table. And we didn't.
So what you mean is he sat on the table and just told you all the negative things that could possibly happen.
Possibly can happen to anybody out there.
Right.
It was there. And I even had a book from Dr. Lee. I said, here, all your answers are here. And he's like, no, I don't want to read it. It was tough because I know he's worried about me. And that's when I found out that there are few incidents that my parents ran into that was so negative that I could understand where they come from. So I think that was in a way, it was really sad because I thought, okay, I knew you won't be completely supportive at the beginning, but it wasn't a nice, obviously it wasn't a very pleasant conversation to have. But at the end of the 10th, day 10, he said, okay, if you're going to do it, then do it well. But when you come to Korea, do not contact your family members or relatives for this. And he went back. So I think that must have been the hardest 10 days because I don't want to disappoint him. I want them to be proud of me, right? And I told him everything that I could. So hardest rejection comes from those who you care. If you hear some random stuff, I'm sure I heard a lot of things from my, a lot of my friends are like, oh, what happened? Are you financially struggling? Or like, what are you doing? Selling ginseng?
Like a door-to-door salesman.
Yeah. And my sister would be like, oh my God, Mom, my sister's doing sales even here. Like, I got a lot of those. And I wrote them down in my heart. You watch. I think, honestly, I don't hold grudges usually. I'm too lazy to do that. But the people who were worried, but they, through those things, I'm like, okay, so you, sister, and you, I will show you that this works. And I have to tell you, I feel that if I didn't have that experience, and our partners come to me and they'll open up and they're beat down from outside getting all the rejection, I might not be able to relate to them. I'm like, oh, I don't know, like just deal with it. But since I went through pretty much a lot of it out there, I tell them, hey, look, what you went through today, it's an experience that you can write in a book and you're going to grow your team. Your organization will be very, very big. And you will have your partners come to you and they will go through something very similar. And sometimes all you need to do is, hey, I know how you feel because that happened to me too. But I went through it and I thought positive out of it. And this is where I am. And it's good to have more stories in your book. So actually, I learned that from my sponsors and leaders come from Korea and the States. They all told me, yeah, what you go through is a positive thing. So sometimes I can't sleep because I'm so angry. How can you say that? How can you treat me like that? And after all this, but at the same time, it was a driving force for me to say, I'm going to show her. And when I became a Diamond Master, when I became an auto sales master, that's the first time I made it very public on my Facebook. I'm a diamond master now. And yeah, and this is what I made. And, you know, this is my challenge. And you'll be very surprised. That's the best satisfaction that I got in many, many months, because people who are the most hostile to you, they come to you and say, hey, Essie, I knew you could do it. You know, when you get really rich, don't forget about me. It's the best feeling.
When you start talking money, they come back and they start asking.
Don't give up.
Oh, yeah, you know. Oh,
if you give up because somebody beats you down like that, then you're basically saying that, okay, you're right. I lose out. But I'm not going to let that happen. So Atomy works. There's a lot of things that don't work or might not work. And I don't guarantee nothing in life. You know, I have a faith. That's something that I know is for sure. But other than that, I don't guarantee a lot of things. But Atomy really works. And if you can have that conviction, if people tell you whatever, sometimes women get very jealous that you were hanging out with her. You know, before I knew Atomy, I had like 10 pairs of yoga pants because that's all I do. I lounge and go to work sometimes, and you shop, and then, you know, you talk about people and fashion and, you know, and all of a sudden she's doing business and she's dressing more professionally and she's getting to places in her life. People will get a little bit jealous and people may feel like they're left out. Understand them. And now I feel like, yes, you relate to people who want to get more out of life. So sometimes your friends will stay where they are. But you know what? Now, all these people who are negative or hostile, mean, I get the biggest satisfaction. Yes, I will call you when I get, you know, get to do this. So I'm telling them. So now, before it was, when I become a diamond master, I'm going to do this and that. If you leave it to play you like that, then it will stick with you forever if you give up. Don't let people step all over. First, think of it as a story to tell, to comfort your partners or your future partners. So remember it. Remember how you felt. So even if you become a crown master, imperial master, you want to feel how they feel. And secondly, don't forget the satisfaction you can get when you can say, I told you so. Definitely.
What is the driving force that is, you know, pushing you forward, like your Atomy vision, and how important is that in business? Actually,
that's really the key of it all. I think at the beginning, my goals were very worldly. I just wanted to make a few $1,000s extra, so I don't have to, you know, I just thought, okay, if this is good, then I can sell some off. And maybe. So I had very monetary primary goals at the beginning. And then I realized that's how I sort of started the business. But what really captured me, and it still gets me out of bed no matter what, is that the vision of the company. So when success is defined widely in monetary terms, and especially how I grew up is how big your house could be, or how, you know, like how high is your husband or boyfriend is in society, and what kind of job they have. You know, like it's very materialistic, I have to tell you. And your goal could be when, you know, if I have children, when they grow up, how big are they going to be? Are they going to be accountants? You know, your goals are very limited to that.
Which university children's go to, Ivy League, that kind of stuff.
And if I had to think that, okay, I want a better car, that's not going to get me out of bed and deal with what I have to deal with right now. Because at the beginning, especially, you don't see it. You work so hard, maybe your income might not match something that you're used to, right, in a regular traditional work. Especially if you didn't have an entrepreneur experience. But what's important, what's driving me is that how Atomy defines success so differently. And it defines success in balanced life. I always wanted balanced life, but it never happened. If I work a lot, then I'll have no time to spend anything. And if I have a lot of time, then I don't have enough money to spend. Like it was always that type of limbo. And Atomy said, balanced life, if you can achieve that, that's a success here. And we all know this. And in order to be successful in Atomy, then you can love as much as you want. So you don't have to be doing this when you want to support your family member, how much ever you want to, and to be able to live an affluent life, of course, and to be able to learn. I want to know how to surf. I want to know how to play electric guitar. But I've been wanting to do it for so long, but it never happened. Why? Because I have to go to work. I don't have time for it. So those things, also type of learning, right? Or being able to travel. I've never been to Australia. I had a chance, but I missed it. And I checked today and it's 28 hours. And did you say 18,000 miles? We're kind of far from each other. But I know it's beautiful. And without Atomy, I think I would have never imagined, even thinking about reaching out there. But being able to do that as much as you want and being able to contribute back to your community, if you can all do that as much as your heart contents, then that's how success is defined. My heart really started to beat and it never stopped because if you're doing it for yourself, it's so easy to go home. There's so many things you can do to make money, but here, I'm thinking about your family, the people that you love, the people you could have helped. Well, you have to help yourself first, but all these things, just all on the wish list. I wish I can do this for my parents. I wish I could have done this for my nephew, but it would never happen. But then when I saw that this life scenario, the fact that it's part of our website, it's in our website for you to do all the time, I think your big why, your vision, your big reason why you're doing Atomy is the driving force. You cannot do it just for money. So I know an Imperial Master, he said that if you want just a $2,000, like small money, then Atomy is the hardest job for it. But if you want to become a big rich, then this is the easiest thing to do, to make that. So I put those two together, big why and big this. I did real estate sales and mortgage sales for altogether almost 12 years. And my goal was to have a commercial plaza because I wanted the residual income. I didn't even get close to acquiring a slice of it. So it's both things. Having that balanced life, can it really happen? People told me I'm a daydreamer because I always wanted balance. I wanted to be done with money making so I can enjoy my life, but no one said that that's possible. But Atomy says it's possible. And a lot of people, the leaders, the Leaders Club, Royal Leaders Club, and the Imperial Master, they're showing us it is possible. And is this a really good vehicle that you can take for your next big break financially? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. So these two things combined get me out of bed every morning, energized, and I don't sometimes need to even sleep.
So thank you for coming on to the show, Master Essie.
GTK is a fun tool so we can stay connected. So thank you for the invitation. I think what you're doing is great. And I hope to see you in person soon.
Thank you for coming once again, Master Essie. And thank you for our viewers as well. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.